This is KGW News at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton, and we start off with great news. If you have family or friends in long-term care facilities in Oregon, starting Monday, residents at qualified facilities can have a limited number of visitors indoors. Governor Kate Brown said, quote, "It is my hope that families can now safely begin visiting the loved ones they have not been able to see for so many months." She added that the Department of Human Services needs to proceed with caution. Residents will be able to have up to 2 visitors at a time. Here's how a facility can qualify. They cannot have any suspected or current COVID cases. They need to clean and disinfect the place and be in a community with a low or medium rate of COVID exposure. Well, Governor Brown says she'll keep looking for ways to ease restrictions put in place at the start of the pandemic, but it's slow going. Just yesterday, she extended Oregon's state of emergency. It'll continue through at least January 2nd. The declaration legally authorizes the governor's COVID-19 executive orders and allows them to remain in effect. The governor says she wants to keep the state on track to reopen more businesses and let students return to school for in-person classes. So here's a look at Oregon's latest coronavirus numbers. The state reported 391 new infections on Tuesday and 9 more deaths. Basically, the daily case numbers have been between 350 and 400 for almost a week now. However, last Friday, you'll remember that big spike we had, reporting 550 infections in just one day. Since the pandemic began, more than 660 Oregonians have died from the virus. 29 of those deaths were connected to workplace outbreaks. That's according to Oregon health officials. So far, just under 8,000 people have gotten the virus at their job. That's almost 20% of all reported cases statewide. Oregon OSHA hopes new rules will help improve the situation. OSHA released a draft of its new COVID safety standards. Employees would be required to notify employees about workplace infections, which they don't have to do right now. They'd also have to train workers on the best ways to stop the virus from spreading.
We're actually pretty proud of the balance we've been able to strike with our rule. It's important to protect workers. It's critical, but it's also important to recognize that there are businesses that have taken a pretty hard hit during all of this as well.
Right now, Virginia and Michigan are the only other states with temporary COVID rules for the workplace. Oregon would be the third. OSHA says it'll likely adopt those rules next week. Well, today's the day parents in the Beaverton School District can apply for child care assistance. Washington County secured this grant through the CARES Act. First up, to be eligible, a parent must be working. Second, you have to have kids enrolled with a licensed child care provider. Third, all families qualify regardless of income, but it is a sliding scale, so those who make less would get more assistance. Some families could qualify for more than $1,400 per child per month. The payments will end when the district's $2.4 million fund runs out. For more detailed information on the qualifications and how to apply, go to our website, kgw.com. Well, this is a sad day for many in Portland's food and business communities. They're mourning the loss of a man who was killed over the weekend. 33-year-old Matthew Choi ran Choi's Kimchi Company. He was found stabbed to death inside his secure apartment building in Southeast Portland. Police haven't arrested anyone yet. His friends and family tell us they're heartbroken. We spoke with the executive director of Accelerate, a supportive service for women-owned businesses in Oregon. Choi was a food and beverage coach for that group.
You could speak across the food and beverage sector and he's touched somebody with a piece of advice, a gentle note on where to get a used fan, a great sourcing idea.
Anyone with information or surveillance video near Southeast 12th and Pine early Sunday morning should contact Portland Police. Okay, let's talk about the presidential election now. With just 6 days to go, both candidates are making their final push for votes. President Trump is in Arizona today, where there are 11 electoral votes up for grabs. Last night, the president spoke at a rally in Nebraska. He's ahead in the polls there. He told the crowd, even with the pandemic, the economy is already bouncing back.
This election is a choice between the Trump super recovery, which is what we're having, or a Biden depression.
Think about all those who've lost their jobs. Think about all those who have been infected by the virus. Think about all those who have died.
Former Vice President Joe Biden campaigned in Georgia yesterday, and he'll be in Florida tomorrow. His vice presidential running mate, Kamala Harris, is making her pitch to Arizona voters today in Phoenix and Tucson. Okay, there's still time to make your vote count. At this point, though, if you live here in Oregon, don't mail in your ballot. It will not arrive on time. You have to drop it off at an official ballot box. To find the closest one near you, check out the locator feature on the Secretary of State's website. Washington ballots only have to be postmarked by Election Day. We have everything you need to know if you check out our voter's guide, from the key races and the ballot issues to those important deadlines. You'll find it all on kgw.com. Okay, let's see what we need to know about the weather today. Wow! Before we get to Rod, just soak in that view of Newport and Yaquina Bay. Pure blue sky, and they could hit 60 degrees this afternoon. So, Rod, how are things looking for the rest of us?
Well, pretty much the same. A lot of 60-degree numbers expected as we roll through the afternoon. Newport, by the way, it's been like that since the sun rose this morning, and again, could be some 60-degree temperatures at the coast. So, as promised, no record lows this morning. It was warmer, although still chilly. 38 out of PDX. Hillsboro stopped at 33. It was 37 down in Aurora. McMinnville was close to freezing. Salem stopped at 35. It was 43 in Astoria. Had some frost out in Hood River where it was 32. It's been sunny in many spots. Portland had the morning fog. This is Willamette Valley Vineyards. We're down just south of Salem and Turner. It's been sunny all day. The Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club spent much of the morning in the low cloud bank, but that has now cleared out. And it's 54 degrees. Temperatures really rising. Downtown quickly cleared at about 11 o'clock this morning out of that fog and low cloud bank we had. We're up to 48. So I'm wondering if 62 is warm enough. It looks like very high confidence we'll at least be up into the 60s and then staying clear tonight at 5 p.m. Coming up, we will look at Hurricane Zeta. It's getting within hours of striking the coast of Louisiana. We'll have that track for you shortly.